All right, welcome to Lean Simplified. Let's just dive right in with a simple, but let's be honest, a pretty provocative question. What if I told you that most of the work happening all around us is actually waste? I know, it's kind of a shocking thought, right? But that's the core idea we're going to dig into. We're going to look at this really powerful way of seeing that waste and then systematically getting rid of it. It's called lean thinking. At its absolute heart, lean is all about this simple but kind of revolutionary goal, creating more value with less waste. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what that means, simplifying lean one core concept at a time. Ready? Let's do this. So here's our game plan. First, we'll define what lean actually is. Then we'll go back to its kind of surprising roots at Toyota to understand the why behind it all. After that, we'll walk through the 5 core principles you can use, talk about why the mindset is so much more important than the tools, and then wrap it all up with a real-world example from a hospital. Okay, so first things first, what is lean thinking? It's easy to think it's just a set of business rules or a new strategy, but it's way, way deeper than that. It's really a different way of seeing and improving the world around you. The crucial part here, the thing you've got to get, is the focus on the customer. Lean forces you to ask this one simple question for every single step of any process. Is the customer actually willing to pay for this? If the answer is no, well, it's probably waste, and the goal is to get rid of it. Simple as that. If you only remember one thing from this part, make it this formula. Lean is basically these 3 things working together: figuring out customer value, making sure that value can flow without getting stuck, and having a deep commitment to continuous improvement. Now, to really, really get lean, we have to go back to where it all started. And this whole global movement wasn't born in some fancy business school. Nope. It was born out of pure necessity on the factory floor of the Toyota Motor Company. So picture this. It's post-World War II Japan, and resources are incredibly scarce. Toyota just couldn't afford any waste, so they had to innovate. They developed what we now know as the Toyota Production System. They figured out how to do way more with way less by just obsessively hunting down and eliminating waste and improving the flow of work. But here's the secret sauce. They empowered their workers. They let them stop the entire production line to fix a problem right then and there. That kind of trust in their people is what turned Toyota into a global giant. Okay, so Toyota created this incredible system, but how can we use it? Well, let's get into the 5 key principles that make up the actual framework for lean thinking. These 5 principles really build on each other. First, you define value, but strictly from the customer's point of view. Then you map the value stream. That's every single step, so you can literally see the waste. Third, you create flow, so the valuable steps happen smoothly without any delays. Fourth, you establish a pull system, which just means you only make things when the customer actually asks for them. And finally, you seek perfection, which is just recognizing that you're never truly done improving. It's a journey. Now, here's something that's really interesting. A lot of organizations, they try to adopt lean, and they fail. So why is that? It's because they get hung up on the tools, the checklists, the charts, but they totally miss the most important part, the thinking behind it all. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got the checklist approach. People are just robotically following rules, putting band-aids on problems. But on the other side, you have a culture approach. Here, you have empowered teams who are trained to solve problems at their root cause, to fix the entire system. That's the huge difference between just patching things up and actually solving them for good. So, the real takeaway here is this. You can bring in all the new processes you want, but if you don't change the mindset of the people doing the work, you haven't really adopted lean. You always got to remember, tools fix symptoms, thinking fixes systems. All right, so all this sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like when you put it into practice? Let's make this super tangible with an example that has nothing to do with cars. Let's talk about a hospital. So this hospital was really struggling with long wait times for patients who were ready to go home. So using lean, they mapped out their entire discharge process from A to Z. And what did they find? A bunch of unnecessary approvals and pointless delays. So they just got rid of those steps and gave nurses the power to make decisions that used to require waiting around for a doctor. And the result? Get this. A 50% reduction in patient waiting time. Just let that sink in for a second. They cut the wait time in half, not by hiring more people, not by telling everyone to work harder, but simply by working smarter, by killing off the wasteful steps in their process.
And that is the real magic of lean in action. It leads to simpler, more efficient processes, and you know what that means? Happier patients and a less frustrated staff. It is a total win-win.
So now that you've got a handle on the core mindset of lean, you're totally ready for the next level. In our next explainers, we're going to start breaking down some of the practical tools that bring this thinking to life. We're talking about things like 5S for organizing your workspace, Kaizen for continuous improvement, and Kanban for managing workflow. We'll show you how it all fits together.
So I'll leave you with this question. What's the one process, maybe in your job or even just in your daily life, that could use a little less waste and a lot more value? While you're thinking about that, make sure you subscribe, because here on Lean Simplified, we're going to master this powerful way of thinking together, one concept at a time. Thanks for watching.